All right, perfect. Okay, so guys, I guess we can begin. So welcome back to Bake It Up, and welcome back also to a new episode of the series Dolce Salato, the Italian baking series, on Wednesday. Today we will be making, as you may know, an incredible cake originated from Capri, which is an island just on the Costiera Amalfitana, on the Amalfi Coast. The cake is called Caprese, Torta Caprese. So originated from Capri, which is one of the islands in front of the Costiera Amalfitana, the Amalfi Coast, in front of Amalfi, Sorrento, close to Naples. So if you've ever been there, I highly recommend to go. Positano, that area. So today we're going to be making Torta Caprese. It's a gluten-free torta. It's a gluten-free cake. It's an almond-based cake, and with chocolate, with cocoa, and chocolate as well. Obviously, incredible, delicious, very easy to make. And I'm going to show you how the easiest way to make this cake today. Okay, so first of all, I want to make sure that you guys have all the ingredients before starting. Setting up the table is very important. I will never get tired to remind this, because when you bake, it's very important that you have everything in place. So for this cake here, we need a mixer, a stand mixer possibly, or a hand mixer. I highly recommend to go with that. You can also use just a whisk and do it by hand, but I can guarantee you that because we have to whip the egg whites for a while, since there is no baking powder, there is no chemical leavening agent for this recipe, I highly recommend to go with a stand mixer or a hand mixer. That will be enough. So we have a stand mixer, and then just a couple of spatula and the ingredients, of course. So for the ingredients, for the dry ingredients, we have almond meal, and I just want to tell you the difference between almond meal and almond flour. The almond flour doesn't have skin, basically. The almond meal instead is blended with the skin. Doesn't change the recipe, doesn't make any difference whatsoever. So don't worry about it. If you have some almonds at home, and if you have a blender, you can totally go with that. If you can find the almond flour, that's fine too. Then we had cocoa powder, of course, as a part of the dry ingredient. We have sugar. We have the eggs that we are going to separate, because it's very important for this recipe to whip the egg whites. We have the vanilla, a little bit of salt, and then we have butter, unsalted butter, possibly. If you don't have unsalted butter, but you have salted butter, no problem. Just make sure you don't add the salt. And then we have chocolate, which is the main ingredient beside the almond meal or almond flour. This is going to give a lot of flavor. You can go, there are some recipes that call for chocolate chips. If you don't have dark chocolate, that's fine. But for me, chocolate chips, it's for cookies. So just make sure, I will recommend to go with actual chocolate. Try not to go with something that is over 70% cocoa. It will be a little bit too bitter. So if you can, best will be 60% chocolate, 60% cocoa, max 70%. Otherwise, it's going to change the balance of the cake, and it's going to be overly bitter. Okay, so we are going to start today with chocolate and butter together in a safe microwave container, and we are going to microwave these two ingredients for a couple of minutes, but just make sure that you do it 30 seconds at the time. And we are going to stir in between, because we don't want to burn the chocolate and we don't want to burn the butter as well, but mainly the chocolate. In the meantime, in a mixing bowl, you want to add the egg whites. For the egg whites, one tip is my recommendation. I will break the egg, so I have 3 egg whites here and 3 yolks here. I like to break the egg in a different container, just to prevent the shells to go in the egg whites, but even more if you break the yolks and you get any yolks in the yolks in your egg whites, it's going to be very difficult to whip the yolks. So the egg whites. So I recommend to do what I just did. So break the egg, separate it in a different bowl, and then if you didn't get any trace of yolk in your egg whites, you can add it to the other egg whites. If not, just use a new egg, another egg. We're gonna use a whisk attachment, and we're gonna let this break down with the whisk attachment, and then at some point we are going to add a little bit of sugar. So in a few seconds. Sorry for the noise. Hi Dina. Hi Michelle. Hi guys. Lovely to see you here. Say hi. Let me know where are you watching from. And it's going to be a little bit noisy. So if you have any questions, please go ahead. Now this is the time. And I'm gonna check the butter and chocolate in the meantime. More. This is gonna take a couple of minutes. Okay, as soon as you start seeing a little bit of foam, start adding a little bit of sugar. Any questions, guys? From Springfield? Hi, Michelle from Springfield. Nice to see you here. Dina, where are you watching from? I know you're watching from Oakville. I know that. Okay, let's keep stirring because as you can see, this is not ready yet. This is getting beautiful. At this point, we're gonna add more sugar. So the recipe, which by the way, guys, it's not available yet, and my apologies, because it's been a crazy day and a crazy week. So I will be posting the recipe after the live. But the recipe calls for around 200 grams of sugar. So we're gonna use half for the egg whites and half for the yolks. With that half, which is around 100 and 100, we're gonna use half, first half at the beginning, and then the other half of the 100 grams a little bit like now. Okay, so this is ready. If you see some small chunks, don't worry about it because this is warm enough. It's going to melt by itself. So as you can see, just like a couple of minutes. Usually it doesn't take longer. You set this one aside. Here and here. We added the second part of sugar, so we are good. And we're gonna let it go and whip stiff peaks for until stiff peak forms, okay? And become super light and fluffy. And I'm gonna grab a container where I'm gonna place my egg whites. Clean up a little bit. Okay, fantastic. This is ready. Show you high speed. You want the egg whites to be nice and firm. From your car. All right, and this is ready. You will see, you're gonna make this cake in 10 minutes. If you're organized as I am, while I wait for the chocolate and butter to melt, this is gonna whip up. Stiff peaks, okay? We're gonna transfer the egg whites to another bowl, and without having to wash the bowl, we're gonna use this one, and we are going to whip the yolks with the sugar. Trace of egg whites is not going to affect the yolks and sugar, but the yolks is going to affect the egg whites if there is any trace of it. Okay, so we're gonna set this one aside. And now we're gonna add the yolks here. And the sugar. And we can add the sugar all at once. No problem at all. Whisk attachment. High speed. It's gonna take a couple of minutes. And in the meantime, we are going to combine our dry ingredients. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead. Almond meal. Cocoa powder. And a little bit of salt. Dry ingredients in one bowl. And this is ready too. Nice and fluffy, pale in color, and it's ready, good to go. We are going to whisk with a whisk or with a sifter, it's up to you. They both work. We're gonna combine the dry ingredients together. Almond meal, cocoa powder, and salt. All right, this is enough. Set aside. Let's add a little bit of vanilla in our egg mixture. A good 1 teaspoon. And now it's time to add our butter and chocolate, which is the most important ingredient. on top of the almond flour or almond meal, which is what we are using today. Low speed, you don't want to splash the chocolate anywhere, everywhere. Look at that. It's so satisfying to watch. Beautiful. Let's clean up the bowl. No waste here, especially when it comes to chocolate. No waste. Always forget to preheat the oven before you start. Always remember to preheat the oven before you start. In this case, it's 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Just make sure that there is nothing left at the bottom. Switch to a paddle attachment. You don't have to, but I have this one that is my favorite, and it's a way to make sure that the bowl is cleaned and all the ingredients, the dry ingredients at this point, will be combined properly. All right, so we're gonna add our dry ingredients all at once, and it's almost ready. As you can see, it's very easy. This is what is called a one bowl method, because basically it goes everything in one bowl. The second one is just to combine the dry ingredients. Low speed again. And we're gonna get ready with our egg whites. Do you have any questions at all? Dina? Oh, I give the best direction. Well, good to know. That's what I'm here for. It's, well, for some it's not too easy just to read a recipe, right? There are so many things, some tips and tricks that you want to know when it comes to baking, and I'm more than happy to share those with you. All right, now, this is the consistency of the butter. We're gonna add here a little bit of, because this is fairly thick, and the egg whites, the whipped egg whites, are way too fluffy and soft, and we want to maintain all this air as much as possible, because as I said, there is not chemical leavener, there is no baking powder, there is no baking soda here. The only thing that is going to give a lift to the cake, to Torta Caprese, is the air that is incorporated, it's in this beautiful egg whites. So we're gonna start with a little bit, because we want to loosen up the butter here. That is a little bit dense, and it's going to deflate the egg white, so we don't want that. So this is going to help the butter to get a little bit more fluffy and airy. Okay, and now we're gonna clean up the butter. Sorry, we're gonna clean up the attachment here. If you don't have this attachment, guys, I highly recommend to get one. I absolutely love it. To scrape the bowl is definitely not my favorite thing to do. So this makes it very easy. And now, guys, the last step here, let me move the KitchenAid. Let me grab the bowl. And the last step here is to add the egg whites in 2 times, well, actually 3 times if we count the first one. And you want to fold the egg whites in. Highly recommended is to do it by hand. So from the bottom to the top. Okay, and we're gonna add the last one, and we are done. Just a reminder that this recipe is that this cake, this torta caprese, is gluten-free. The story behind, I don't know, some people talk about mafia. Some people say that this was for a queen, and the pastry chef forgot to put the flour in the cake. But doesn't matter. Bottom line, what really matters is that this pastry chef ended up getting one of the most delicious chocolate cake, that's for sure. Guys, this is ready. See how it's nice and fluffy? Still fairly thick, but it has enough air to rise a little bit, not too much. This is not a kind of cake that will rise a lot at all. And now I have some parchment paper here. I have a 9-inch spring form. Parchment paper, I fold it in half and then half, and fold it again in a triangle. So far in the middle here, this is the line, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it a couple of inches below, and I'll show you why. This is a little secret. We're gonna make this workshop a little bit special, or not. So 9 people, stay with me. Say hi, guys. I can see you. Say hi. And how about some likes? Please don't forget to subscribe if you didn't already. And to like the video. Doesn't cost anything, but it means a lot for me and for the channel, to make it sustainable so that I can keep doing those classes for free. All right, a little bit of spray, non-stick spray, to make sure that the parchment paper stick to the bottom. And look at this. Place the parchment paper at the bottom, and all these parts that we have cut, they're gonna stick to the side. And now we also have some parchment paper on the side of the baking pan. Right? Isn't it a good tip? Ready to go. Your oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is going to bake for 40 to 50 minutes max. Just check with a toothpick. You don't want, you want to see some crumbs on the toothpick. You don't want this cake to be too dry, but your toothpick doesn't have to be wet. So just a little bit of crumbs is gonna say, because we also want some kind of, so the consistency of this cake is quite fudgy, okay? So you don't want to over bake the cake. Move this one, and I have it ready for you guys, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to show you how it looks like. All right, This is ready. And again, 325 degrees for 50 minutes, depending on your oven, all right? 12 people, guys, please say hi. And please let me know where are you watching from. Fantastic. And I'm gonna bake this one in a moment. And now, guys, here is the cake. Look at that. All right. Here it is. Remember to like the video and let me cut it so that you can see how it looks like. The inside. Oh, yeah. Nice and fudgy. Look at that. This is incredible. Let me clean the knife. So we're gonna get a nice cut. Oh, I can feel that it's nice and fudgy inside. Oh, beautiful. Ooh, this is fantastic. Let me put it on the plate. Let me do a little bit of decoration here. Why not? Right? And here it is, guys. Here it is. Oh, see how soft and rich this is. I don't want to say anything about this cake. Just make it and let me know. Guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. It's way too good, sorry. Thank you for joining me. And I'll see you next time with the next video. I didn't decide yet what I am going to make. Therefore, stay tuned. Join me on Facebook, or you can look up at the website where you will see the recipe as well shortly. bakeitup.ca. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.